There are nights when silence feels louder than words, when the only sound you hear is your own heartbeat, heavy, restless, tired. You sit alone, staring at the ceiling, replaying the same question in your mind. Why is Allah silent when I'm breaking? You've prayed, you've done everything right, and yet the door didn't open, the person didn't stay. The dua didn't seem to be answered. And your heart whispers what your lips dare not say. Ya Allah, have you forgotten me? But my dear soul, listen closely. Allah has never forgotten you. In fact, this silence you're feeling is not absence, it's preparation. You see, there are two types of pain in this world, one that destroys you and one that builds you. And when Allah loves you, He never allows your pain to go to waste. He turns every heartbreak into a doorway, one that leads back to Him. Sometimes you wear a smile so no one sees the storm behind your eyes. You tell people you're fine, even though your heart feels like shattered glass. You pray, but your words tremble. You whisper, why Allah, I'm trying, and deep down, you wonder if you'll ever feel peace again. But what if this pain, this heartbreak, this loss, this delay isn't a punishment? What if it's an invitation? An invitation from Al-Wadud, the most loving, who breaks your heart only to show you that it was attached to the wrong thing. An invitation from Al-Hakim, the most wise, who removes what would have destroyed you later. An invitation from Ar-Rahman, the most merciful, who takes something away only to replace it with something eternal. Pain, you see, is Allah's way of awakening you, reminding you of who you are and who you belong to. You might feel like Allah is silent, but silence doesn't mean He's not listening. Silence means He's preparing something greater than you asked for. You remember the story of Maryam Sadaf Feed, when she sat under the palm tree in agony, alone and in labor, crying out, oh, I wish I had died before this, and was forgotten. Sashura Maryam. 23 at that moment, that silence, wasn't Allah abandoning her. It was Allah bringing her the greatest miracle of her life. Subhanallah, sometimes what feels like the end is just the beginning. Sometimes the silence before your dua is answered is the moment Allah writes your miracle. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm, the kind that makes you close your eyes and brace for impact. Your life feels like that sometimes, doesn't it? Winds of disappointment, thunder of heartbreak. Everything feels out of control. But here's the truth. Storms aren't meant to drown you. They're meant to cleanse you. Every drop of rain, every tear that falls from your eyes is a reminder Allah is washing away what no longer belongs to you. So the next time you feel broken, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is Allah teaching me? Because Allah's plan is not random. It's written with precision, mercy, and love. Indeed, with hardship comes ease. So Surah Ash-Sharsi. 5, notice, Allah didn't say after hardship. He said with hardship, meaning your ease is already written. It's just hidden inside your pain. There's something deeply beautiful about divine delay. When Allah says, not yet, it doesn't mean never. It means, I'm protecting you from something you can't see. Maybe that relationship you begged for would have pulled you away from Him. Maybe that dream job you thought would make you happy would have made your heart forget the one who provides. Maybe the door that didn't open was never yours, because your destiny was written behind a better one. Allah's delay isn't denial, it's divine alignment. And it may be that you dislike a thing which is good for you, and that you love a thing which is bad for you. Allah knows and you do not know. Zashur al-Baqarah 2:216. Sometimes we only see the loss, but Allah sees what the loss will save you from. There's a story written about you long before you were born, and the one who wrote it is Ar-Rahman, the most merciful. He didn't write your life to punish you. He wrote it to purify you, to guide you through love, pain, and redemption, all the way back to Him. When you think your story is over, Allah whispers, it's only a chapter. When you think you've been left alone, He says, I was with you even when you forgot me. Every unanswered dua, every heartbreak, every sleepless night was Allah rewriting your destiny, not rejecting it. Sometimes the hardest no is the greatest yes in disguise. Let's travel now, not through time, but through the heart, to a moment in history when one of Allah's most beloved servants was betrayed, abandoned, and imprisoned for a crime he didn't commit. Prophet Yusuf's Fifi. Can you imagine the darkness of that well, the chill of the stones, the sound of water echoing in the dark? He was just a child when his own brothers threw him in. He must have wondered, why, Ya Allah? What did I do? But years later, that same child became a ruler. And when he stood face to face with the brothers who once left him for dead, he didn't say, you ruined my life. He said, indeed, my Lord is subtle in what He wills. So Yusuf, $100, Subhanallah, the same darkness that once held him prisoner was the darkness that carried him to his purpose. So when you're in your own, well, when you feel forgotten, misunderstood, or alone, remember Yusuf's story wasn't about the pain. It was about trusting Allah through the unseen. Because what you call the end, Allah calls the beginning of something better. Look back at your own life for a moment. The things that hurt the most, didn't they teach you the most? The people who left, didn't they make room for better souls? The heartbreak that nearly broke you, wasn't it the moment you turned back to Allah in tears? Maybe the pain didn't destroy you because it was never meant to. It was meant to redirect you. Allah doesn't allow you to lose something unless He's replacing it with something greater, even if that something is peace, closeness, or wisdom. So when you whisper, Wallah, I can't do this anymore, He answers in ways you don't hear yet. You can, because I am with you. So indeed, with hardship comes ease. Zash Shar 6. So when you have finished your task, then stand up and worship. Ash Shar 7, He's not asking you to understand everything. He's asking you to trust Him through everything. There's always a dawn after the night. Always. No storm lasts stays unchanged, and no tear goes unnoticed by the Lord who says, I respond to the call of the supplicant when he calls upon me. Al-Baqarah 186, even when your voice shakes. Even when all you can say is, why Allah, help me. Even when your dua feels weak. Allah listens to the whispers of a broken heart louder than the cries of an entire nation. And maybe that's why He allowed your heart to break, so you could finally speak to Him, not in routine, but in truth. Because there's something pure about the dua that comes from pain. It's not rehearsed, it's real, it's raw, and Allah loves that honesty. So if you're listening to this right now and your heart is aching, take a deep breath. You are not forgotten. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. This pain you're feeling is not the end of your story. It's the chapter Allah uses to bring you closer to Him. Because happiness doesn't mean a life without hardship. It means a heart that trusts Allah through hardship. And one day, not long from now, you'll look back and smile at the pain that once broke you, because you'll see how it built you. Close your eyes and picture it. The night is cold. The sky trembles with the sound of horses drawing near. In front of you a sea, behind you an army. Your people are crying. We are surely overtaken. And then a calm voice rises. Musa says, indeed, with me is my Lord. He will guide me. Zayash Shogar 2662, that's tawakkul in its purest form, the trust that stands tall when logic collapses. When the believer looks at the impossible and still whispers, Allah is enough. And so Allah split the sea, not because the water changed, but because faith did. There will be a moment in your life when everything closes in, a Red Sea moment. When all doors are locked, every option gone, every heart turned away. That's the space where miracles are born, not in comfort, in cornered trust. When you hit that wall, remember Musa. The sea didn't part because he knew how, it parted because he believed who could. Maryam Dodden Evel Evenhi was alone, exhausted, clutching her stomach beneath a date palm. She cried out, oh, I wish I had died before this. So Maryam 19:23, and yet the voice of mercy called from beneath her, do not grieve, your Lord has provided a stream beneath you, and shake the trunk of the palm tree, fresh dates will fall upon you. So Maryam 19:24 noticed something. Allah could have made the fruit fall without her effort, but He asked her to shake the tree. A simple, impossible motion for a woman in labor to teach us that even when you can't control the outcome, you still move. Sometimes Allah wants you to shake the tree, to make the smallest effort, so He can show you His greatest mercy. So when you're tired, broken, and the pain feels unbearable, do what Maryam did, move an inch, and watch Allah send the fruit of relief your way. There was a man once loved by Allah for his gratitude. He lost his health, his wealth, his children, years of suffering. Yet, when he finally raised his hands, he said, only, indeed, adversity has touched me, and you are the most merciful of the merciful. Zal Anbiya 183, no complaint, no bitterness, just acknowledgement and love. And Allah responded, we responded to Him and removed what afflicted Him. The 21st and 84th, the lesson. Sometimes your greatest miracle isn't the healing itself, it's the iman that survives until the healing comes. Ayub's story reminds you patience is not silence. It's consistency and goodness while hurting inside. Now we travel to Tef, stone's blood, rejection. The prophet I walks away bruised and alone. But his dua still echoes through history. If you are not angry with me, then I do not mind. Imagine that to be beaten, humiliated, and still whisper, as long as you love me, it's okay. That's the summit of surrender. When you stop measuring life by outcomes and start measuring it by closeness to Allah. Every prophet's story follows the same rhythm. Pain, patience, purpose, peace. Your story is no different. Your well, your Red Sea, your isolation, your heartbreak, they're all classrooms of the soul. Allah isn't testing you to see if you'll break. He's showing you that you can bend without breaking. So breathe. Your hardship has lineage, and its ancestors are miracles. Our hearts were created to love Allah first. Every other attachment is borrowed light. When we attach too deeply to creation, to people, goals, validation, we experience heartbreak as a correction. Allah is teaching, let go of what cannot carry you to me. Detachment in Islam doesn't mean coldness. It means loving through Allah, not instead of Him. That's why the Prophet said, love the one you love in moderation, for one day he may become someone you dislike. Termiti, because balance protects the heart. When you remember Allah more than the loss, you regain freedom, the kind that no heartbreak can steal. Verily, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. Zayar, Rod 13 and 28, Dhikr isn't a ritual, it's medicine. Each subhanallah polishes rust from the soul. Each alhamdulillah rewires grief into gratitude. Each la ilaha illa Allah re-anchors the heart to meaning. When anxiety hits, remember, the tongue that remembers Allah cannot drown in despair. Try this whisper, Wa Rahman, Ya Rahim, until your heartbeat slows. That rhythm, that's the heart synchronizing with heaven. Sabr isn't passive. It's strength wrapped in gentleness. The Prophet has said, the strong person is not the one who can wrestle, but the one who controls himself when angry. Zabukri, true sabr is choosing kindness while in pain, choosing prayer over complaint, choosing silence over revenge. Every time you restrain your nafs, you're sculpting your soul. Pain is the chisel, patience is the art. Trust is hard because it feels like letting go of control. But control was never yours to begin with. Tawakkul doesn't mean sitting still. It means walking the path knowing the road belongs to Allah. You plant the seed, He decides the rain. You tie the camel, He protects it from harm. You make dua, He chooses the timing. And even if what comes isn't what you asked for, it's always what you need. You wake up and check your phone before your pulse. Screens glow, hearts dim. The algorithm sells illusions. Perfect lives, effortless success, curated smiles. And you begin to compare, why is everyone ahead of me? Why is my dua still unanswered? But comparison is the thief of contentment. Allah gave you your own timeline. Your test might be delayed blessing. Theirs might be hidden emptiness. The world filters, Allah reveals. Anxiety says, what if? Faith says, even if. Anxiety looks at the future with fear. Faith looks at it with trust. Whenever your thoughts spiral, anchor them with the words of Allah. Allah is sufficient for us, and He is the best disposer of affairs. Say Al-Imran 3:73, repeat it until your pulse slows. Let it become your heartbeat. We live in an age that worships productivity. But the soul doesn't need more doing. It needs more being. Remember, even the Prophet rested, smiled, played with children. Balance is sunnah. Work, yes, but pause for salah. Strive, yes, but step back for reflection, because success without sujud is just noise. Thousands of followers, yet hearts feel alone. Why? Because digital connection cannot replace divine connection. If you feel unseen, recall this verse, and He is with you wherever you are. Zal Hadid 5704, you are never truly alone. The one who created your heartbeat hears every unspoken word within it. Talk to Him, not in fancy Arabic, in your own language. He understands every tear better than your own mind does. Happiness isn't found in a flawless life. It's found in a heart that says Alhamdulillah even when life isn't perfect. Perfection belongs to Jannah, peace belongs to the one who remembers that truth. So breathe, slow down. You don't need to fix everything. You just need to trust the one who already has a plan. Every soul that has walked through darkness eventually sees how Allah wrote light into every line of their story. The heart that breaks for Allah will never remain broken. The screen fades from night to the first light of Fajr. You hear the whisper of the Adhan. Come to prayer, come to success. A soft narration begins. You've walked through storms. You've felt the cold silence of unanswered prayers. You've cried in secret, wondering if Allah still sees you. But here you are, still believing, still showing up. That is victory. Healing was never about escaping pain. It was about finding Allah within it. The dawn always looked impossible at midnight until Allah said, be, and light came through cracks you thought were scars. Scene 27, practical step 1, reconnect through Salah. Indeed, prayer prohibits immorality and wrongdoing, and the remembrance of Allah is greater. Al-Ankabut 20:94-5, every time you stand in prayer, you are standing before the Lord who chose you to speak to Him directly. Salah isn't an obligation, it's an invitation. 5 times a day, Allah calls you home. The heart that prays consistently, even with distraction, is still a heart trying to come home. Don't aim for perfection, aim for presence. Even if all you can say is, Wa Allah, I'm here even if I'm broken. He listens to broken Arabic, silent tears, and shaking hands, because He listens to the heart behind them. There's something sacred about the morning, when the world is quiet and your soul still remembers the dream world it came from. Try this habit after Fajr. Sit for 10 minutes. Just whisper, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, la ilaha illa Allah, Allahu Akbar. Let the sunlight fall on your face. Let gratitude rise in your chest. Every Alhamdulillah you say builds a wall of light around your heart, protection from anxiety, comparison, and fear. Your day begins with remembrance, and remembrance begins with peace. The Qur'an isn't a book you read, it's a book that reads you. When you open it, you're not flipping pages, you're uncovering answers. Try this, open the Qur'an randomly and read one ayah with an open heart. Ask, what is Allah trying to tell me right now? You'll be surprised how often it speaks directly to your situation. The Qur'an is alive, it comforts the lonely, steadies the anxious, humbles the proud. It's not only a book of rules, it's a mirror for your soul. Sometimes you think you must sound perfect in dua, but Allah never asked you for eloquence. He asked you for honesty. The Prophet said, call upon Allah while being certain that He will answer you. Tirmidhi, so speak to Him the way a child runs to their mother, raw, simple, unfiltered. Say, why Allah, I'm scared. Why Allah, I don't know what to do. Why Allah, fix what I can't even name. He hears you, even when your lips don't move, even when your voice trembles, even when your dua is just a tear that falls before you sleep. One of the fastest paths to happiness is service, because every time you lift another heart, Allah lifts yours higher. The Prophet A said, "The most beloved of people to Allah are those who bring the most benefit to others." Tabarani, do something small today. Send a message of kindness. Feed someone hungry. Make dua for someone in secret. You may forget it by sunset, but the angels won't. Sometimes the door to your own relief is the door you open for someone else. Contentment, Rita, doesn't mean you like every decree. It means you trust it's written by someone who loves you more than you love yourself. It's saying, I don't understand it, Ya Allah, but I trust you. And that single statement can carry you through years of uncertainty. When you live with Rita, you stop asking, why me? And start saying, use me. That's when you realize your pain was never punishment, it was a platform. Happiness in Islam isn't found in having no hardship. It's found in having a heart that returns to Allah despite hardship. The Prophet I said, wondrous is the affair of the believer, for if something good happens, he thanks Allah, and that is good for him. And if something bad happens, he bears it with patience, and that is good for him. So Muslims, so whether life gives or takes, you win, because you never lose Allah. That's the secret. True happiness isn't found in control, it's found in surrender. There's a kind of peace that doesn't make sense. The world is burning, but your heart is calm. That's sakina, tranquility from Allah. It descends on those who remember Him deeply. He it is who sent down tranquility into the hearts of the believers. So Al-Fath 48I4, you can't fake it. You can't buy it. You can only receive it. And when it comes, you'll know. Because the same moment that once broke you will suddenly feel like home. Life isn't supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be meaningful. Every tear, every delay, every heartbreak was a line in your story leading you back to Allah. One day you'll look back and say, if I hadn't been broken there, I wouldn't have found Him here. Maybe happiness was never something you lost. Maybe it was something you were being trained to recognize. Ya Allah, heal the hearts that are tired of pretending they're fine. Forgive the souls that fell and tried to rise again. Bless the eyes that cried for your sake. And the hands that still reach for you in the dark. Ya Allah, make us among those who find peace in your remembrance, purpose in your decree, and joy in our servitude to you. When we forget, remind us. When we fall, raise us. And when we meet you, let it be with a heart that says, I'm home. Happiness isn't the absence of hardship, it's the nearness of Allah. So keep walking, believer, even when it's dark, because dawn always comes for the ones who keep their hearts lit with La ilaha illa Allah.